Hello everyone, welcome to Eric Dong Academy, a place where we share valuable knowledge to help you change your mindset and achieve sustainable success in life. In today's video, we will explore one of the most important lessons I have learned throughout my investment journey. A secret that helped me make a dramatic shift in my perception of stocks and investing. You will realize that if you understand the core principle, not only will your finances change, but your life will also improve in a more positive way. If you feel that this video could be helpful, don't forget to subscribe to the Eric Dong Academy channel, hit like, and turn on notifications so you won't miss any helpful videos in the future. And especially, comment "I want to succeed" below this video to show your determination to rise up and conquer big goals in life. When I was just 11 years old, I started picking stocks and thought I understood the stock market. In reality, I was completely wrong. Instead of understanding the true nature of stocks and how to invest in them, I only focused on tracking their up and down movements, thinking that was the most important thing. I spent time drawing stock charts, learning about technical analysis, and reading books on it, especially Edwards and Mickey's book, one of the classic books in the investment world. During my early years, I thought the most important thing in investing was to accurately predict whether a stock would go up or down, and to try to forecast the stock market trends. However, when I was 19 to 20 years old, I read The Intelligent Investor by Ben Graham, and that was the moment that changed my life. I realized that everything I had done before was completely wrong. I was heading in the wrong direction. But fortunately, what I had learned during that time was not in vain, as it helped me build the basic foundation to change my way of thinking. From there, I completely changed my perspective on investing. I no longer saw stocks as a tool for making quick profits, but I started viewing them as pieces of a real business, where I was a part of American companies. I no longer cared about whether a company's stock would go up or down the next day, week, or month. I didn't know what stock prices would do, but I knew that if I invested in good businesses, I would have a solid and sustainable investment in the long term. What mattered to me now was owning real businesses, not just numbers on a screen. One important thing I learned is, to succeed in investing, you don't necessarily need to be a genius. In fact, you don't need an exceptionally high IQ. 120 IQ is enough to succeed in this field. You don't need to be an intellectual giant. You just need the right direction and a willingness to learn. What I've noticed over time is that 90% of people who invest in the stock market don't think about it in the right way. They focus on hoping that stocks will go up in the short term, rather than thinking about the long-term value of the company. The key is, when you buy a stock, you are buying a part of the business. If you understand this, you won't care about whether the stock goes up or down every day. On the contrary, you will be even more pleased when the stock price drops, because you can buy more shares with your initial investment, which will increase your long-term value. I always try to invest in businesses with a solid foundation, thinking about what that company will bring in the next 10 to 20 years. Throughout my career, I always wanted to do things on a grand scale. I once put all my wealth into City Service preferred stocks in 1942, and since then, I've always maintained at least 80% of my wealth in American businesses. I didn't want to own anything else except the good businesses I trusted and knew could grow long term. For many people, owning multiple properties might bring happiness, but for me, owning 5 houses means nothing. What makes me happy is doing what I love and knowing that I will win in the long run. I'm not trying to beat others. I'm focused on growing my investments. What I buy are not stocks, but parts of American businesses. I also really enjoy being trusted by those around me and working with them. This is much more important than making extra money by working alone in a room. Imagine, if there were no stock market, I could still buy businesses privately, just like buying a farm or property. You wouldn't have to worry about daily market fluctuations, but instead focus on investing in real assets that bring long-term value. The US economy is growing strongly, and statistics show that more people are earning more than ever before. Just look at the wealth data to see that many Americans now have a much better life than in previous years. Even those in the lower income class are living better than billionaires from the past like John D. Rockefeller. When Rockefeller lived, he was the richest man in the world, but today, people have access to healthcare, education, entertainment, and services that he could not have. This shows that over time, both the economy and our lives have improved dramatically. Despite experiencing major crises like wars, the Great Depression, or pandemics, we always find ways to rise and grow. We live in an environment where prosperity and progress are continually evolving. If you truly want long-term success, don't chase short-term benefits. Learn to view stocks as a part of a real business and invest in things with long-term value. When I was born, dentists didn't use Novocaine, local anesthetic, and that was a clear sign of the progress we've witnessed in society. No country in the world has achieved what the United States has. If you go back 3 generations of mine, you will see that less than 0.5% of the world's population was in this country. This wasn't because Americans worked harder than others. In fact, regarding work hours and the difficulty of tasks, everyone in the world went through the same tough working hours. But the difference is, while most of the world couldn't access prosperity, Americans owned nearly 20% of the world's entire wealth in just a few generations. This is an unprecedented achievement in history. Imagine if you could go back to 1789, while the delegates at the Constitutional Congress were laying the foundation for this country, and you told them, future generations will be able to fly in the sky, watch global sports, enjoy entertainment services, have modern healthcare systems, and they will think you're crazy. They would definitely think you were insane. But in reality, all of this has become a reality and is happening right before our eyes. I always feel proud to share what I have learned from my investment journey and observing the development of society. However, not everyone can understand the importance of these things. Most people only see things through the lens of the present, and very few can understand that the progress of the economy and technology is the result of the right decisions and investments over centuries. If you understand this message, it's the key to long-term success. For me, one of the most important lessons in investing is long-term investing and investing in indexes. And one of the most powerful indexes I always trust is the S&P 500. This is an index representing the 500 largest companies in the United States. And investing in this index is not only a safe strategy, but also the best way to ensure long-term returns. The reason is that these indexes reflect the overall development of the economy and industries, helping to minimize risks and maximize profits. However, there is one important point I want to emphasize. Investment organizations always seek growth, and they often establish indexes for different industries and countries. However, I believe that in some cases, these strategies may not fully align with what Jack Bogle, the founder of Vanguard Investment Fund, said. He once emphasized, "You don't know enough to pick the right business." This applies not only to choosing businesses, but also to selecting countries or sectors to invest in. Yes, you may know enough to invest in broad indexes like the S&P 500 without choosing individual companies. In today's volatile world, investing in indexes is the simplest and most effective way to benefit from the sustainable growth of the economy. Picking a few specific companies or industries may bring quick profits, but it can also carry significant risks. Meanwhile, investing in indexes like the S&P 500 helps you minimize these risks because you're investing in the development of the entire economy, rather than relying on a few specific factors. So, if you're looking for a long-term and safe investment strategy, consider investing in indexes like the S&P 500. This is one of the most effective ways to protect your assets and create long-term wealth for the future. The development of this country and the world over the years is the clearest proof that investing in long-term growth will always be the path to success. Warren Buffett, born in 1930, is an American investor, businessman, and philanthropist known as the Oracle of Omaha due to his exceptional success in stock investing. Summary of Warren Buffett's life. Childhood and education. Born in Omaha, Nebraska, Buffett showed business talent from a young age. He started investing at the age of 11 and even delivered newspapers to earn money. After studying at the University of Nebraska, he attended Columbia Business School, where he was mentored by Benjamin Graham, the father of value investing. Investment career. Buffett established his own investment firm in the 1950s. In 1965, he bought Berkshire Hathaway, a textile company, and transformed it into a colossal investment conglomerate, owning shares in Apple, Coca-Cola, American Express, and many other major companies. Investment philosophy. He follows a value investing strategy, focusing on businesses with solid foundations, stable profits, and strong management. Despite his massive fortune, Buffett is known for his simple lifestyle. Philanthropy. Buffett has committed to donating most of his wealth to charitable causes through the Giving Pledge, alongside Bill Gates. Legacy. He is considered one of the most successful investors of all time, with a profound influence on the financial and investment world. Wealth. Buffett became a billionaire in 1962 when his investment partnerships reached a total value of over $7.178 million, with over $1.25 million belonging to Buffett himself. As of February 17, 2025, his net worth is estimated at approximately $149.6 billion, ranking him 7th on the list of the world's wealthiest individuals. Some of Warren Buffett's most successful investments include Coca-Cola. In 1988, Buffett began purchasing shares of the Coca-Cola Company, ultimately owning 7% of the company with a total investment of $1.072 billion. This became one of the most profitable investments for Berkshire Hathaway and remains in their portfolio. GEICO. In 1976, Buffett invested in GEICO when the company was facing financial difficulties and later acquired the entire company in 1996. GEICO became one of Berkshire Hathaway's key investments. Burlington Northern Santa Fe, BNSF, Railway. In 2010, Berkshire Hathaway acquired the remaining stake of BNSF that it did not already own for $26 billion, marking the largest acquisition in Berkshire's history at that time. BYD Company. In 2008, Buffett invested $230 million to buy a 10% stake in BYD, a Chinese electric vehicle and battery manufacturer. This investment yielded a profit of over 500% in less than a year. These investments reflect Buffett's value investing strategy and long-term vision, contributing significantly to the growth of Berkshire Hathaway and reinforcing his reputation as one of the greatest investors of all time. Lessons from Warren Buffett. Patience, discipline, and long-term investments in genuinely valuable companies. Thus, we've gone through some profound lessons on investing and wealth building. Remember that knowledge is power, and if you change the way you think about investing, you can open new opportunities for personal growth and sustainable wealth building. If you found this video useful, don't forget to subscribe to Eric Dong Academy, like, and share the video with others who could benefit from these insights. Comment, "I want success," to show your determination, as every day is an opportunity to get closer to your dreams. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next videos. Wishing you success and the achievement of your grand goals.